welcome to the first season and the very first episode of Level Up, powered by Leadway. I am Tomike Adeoye, your host, and on each episode, we'll be bringing some of the brightest stars who are thriving in their industries to, help new and upcoming talents navigate their way to success. Ever wondered how your faves made it to the top and stayed there? Get ready to find out. Now, this is not some inspire to aspire to perspire kind of package. We'll be spitting facts and facts only. If you're ready, I am ever ready to meet our guest on today's episode. Drum roll as we welcome, popularly known as, no, don't let me give you his name. Wait for it. Can you guess what my first guest is? A rapper, businessman, actor, popularly known as Leadway.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
How are you doing though?
I'm good.
Are you excited? Are you ready to show us how to level up?
First of all, I heard this is the first edition of this show.
Yes, and you are like the pioneer set.
Yeah, it's amazing. It feels good to start it all off with you guys.
Thank you very
I'm
much.
excited.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
And today we're also joined by the talented singer and songwriter, Boombox. Welcome.
Boombox Day. Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Well, I like how you just sold your market now, just in case they don't play that song when they're editing it. You put it yourself. High five.
I have to level up.
Love it. Yeah. But Leadway, let's start from the bottom. Let's rewind to studying political science and being a banker, then venturing into music full time. At what point was the turning point and the determining factor that made you say, okay, I think it's time for me to go into music full time?
I was born in the southeast. I was born in Enugu, popularly known as Coal City, and which is where I acquired all levels of education from primary to secondary, and then went up to the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. The intention was to study law, but that year, JAMB did their thing, and I couldn't just get into law. I just couldn't get into law for the first year, so I ended up in political science and international relations in UNM, which is a beautiful course. But after first year, I was supposed to move over to join the law class in the Enugu campus. And when I got there and I looked at the law class and I saw everybody dressed in black and white, I knew this wasn't my calling. And law was actually my dad. You know how parents get, everybody feels like they need some engineer or some lawyer or some medical.
Just share it in the family.
Yeah, so they just wanted me to follow a path. But when I got into that class, I just knew this wasn't the calling, and I left it. But I've always been rapping. I've always been making music from even way before uni. I always used to write, lyrics, and then eventually started recording my own songs. So when I came over to Lagos for youth service, you know how banking was back in the day. It's changed a lot now. Now bankers can be in the creative space and get away with it. I've seen bankers with dreadlocks. Yes. I've seen bankers that can express themselves through, artistically. Then it was a taboo. I couldn't even say I was making music. I would make music and I'll hide. So it wasn't the greatest of times, but I needed to make a living, but I kept making music on the low. Yeah.
So at what point did you decide to, take it to the high level that it was?
Yeah, so I left banking eventually. I left the country after a while and then moved to England for about 2 years, almost 3 years. Wow. Yeah, lived out there and then came back to Nigeria again and decided it was time. Because in my absence, the music industry changed. A lot of record labels started off, and then a lot of artists in the hip-hop space were also popping up. So I decided it was time to just go home and start.
Interesting. Yes. Thank you for sharing.
I came back and...
Thank you for sharing. Boombox, let's talk about your music career now. Have you always been into it full time? Do you just, venture into it and say, okay, I want to be a musician, I want to be an artist full time? Or was it something that took time for you to become a full-time musician?
For me, it started with dancing.
Really?
I've always loved dancing. And this was before school. I schooled finished from uni then.
I thought God used to share it 1-1. If you can dance, you won't be able to sing. If you can sing, you'll be able to dance.
I'm so talented. Like, it's even me now that it's dodgy. Which talent? Like, I dance, I sing. I even used to rap.
Yes, now. What else do you do?
I hear you bleed like this. You get so, but I used to dance. Then my brother advised me like, this dance that you are dancing, where will it take you to? You get so it was like I should add singing to it. I should be like Michael Jackson, you know. I should be singing and dancing. I wanted to do music now. After I started singing, I wanted to do music now. So my parents said I should finish school before I can go into music full time. So after school, I was already performing in school. I don't want to say I've blown in school, but I already had,
Feel free to say it.
fans. I had fans.
In school.
Yeah, so after graduating, my service, I served in Lagos. So I won Camp Idol in camp in Lagos. When I won the competition, immediately I got signed. You get.
Oh wow.
I got signed to DH Entertainment that linked me to Tenny.
Wow.
Then,
Was that the prize for winning the competition?
well, no. The competition
Just a
had
platform.
their own deal.
Oh wow.
You get the competition had their own deal, but
That boy.
the label that was supposed to sign me did not sign me. Like after winning the competition, they will give you a deal, they will take you here, they will do this, they do that, but they didn't do all those things.
Wow.
In short, after the service, I didn't even hear from them. You get? I didn't even hear from them. So, but I got signed, Sha. I think somebody heard my song, called me up. I heard your song, a song that was not, out there. Because I haven't released anything then. So after that, I got signed. I worked with Tenny and.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was like a turning point for you in your career.
Because
you know that song has over 7 million views on YouTube.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
The truth is, I've been working for a very long time. You get so the way the industry does is like they will record you when you just come, like the song you used to blow. They will not be like, okay, you started last year.
Do you agree?
Or you started this year. They don't know now. I've been singing like
You were the one. But how have you been able to, milk that success and build on it?
Well, I'm here now. I'm level up, so I'm building, I'm growing, and it's not been easy, Sha.
I can imagine.
Because I'm no more with my label.
Oh wow.
And this.
Did you fight?
No, we did not fight. Funny enough. Funny enough, we did not fight. So it's just finances, you guys, just funds. Not every label comes with this big amount of money or budget. Some labels, some small labels just come with this fixed amounts. Then when the money is finished, they can't continue with something like that. So
You call yourself the king of melody.
if you play beats now, I will give you melodies.
Really?
Go.
Okay, let me
You
play
get-
this for you. Maybe melody.
Continue now. Yeah. I have to level up. I have to level up. That's why I'm here. Why I'm here. You please too.
He has an interesting trajectory. His growth is he has quite an interesting story because coming from Uniben and coming out here to serve and moving from being a dancer,
full-time singer.
into being a full-time singer. Sometimes some people are not able to make that transition artistically, and making a record with Tenny is a big deal. It's a big deal, and on finance.
It's a major part of leveling up, so we really need that.
Yeah, I'll level up with you 100% on finance. I come from an era where finance was a big deal. Finance was a big deal and a huge determining factor for growth. But it also came with a lot of hustle. So I saw a lot of labels. Like I've seen, it's cool for the artist to come out and say, oh, the label, we parted ways. And this is in no disrespect to him.
Yeah.
But a lot of people get into music because they are absolutely passionate about it. They want to help create a star and create somebody else's success story. If you track back a bit and look at the lives of these record labels, some of the people in it were probably tried to sing at some point or try to make some music and it didn't work out. So they just decided, okay, it's time for us to sow that seed into somebody else. But can I be honest with you? I've met people that that had day jobs, that had 9-to-5s and had businesses, and they had to spend their entire savings. They had to liquidate their entire savings or had to sell property and stuff just to find enough money to shoot music videos, promote the artist, you know. Then you have the other side, the people that actually have all the money. You know, and some of them can just, pull up with the wackest artist and tell you, that's my artist, blow him, there's money in the trunk. You understand? So you now have all kinds of people coming in to do the business, coming to invest in the music business. The money, the finance is crucial, but it has also destroyed a lot of people. A lot of people invested and never got their money back because at the point where they were supposed to invest more and invest a bit more, they ran out of money. And then the artists started to agitate. Oh, they don't have money. If they didn't have money, why didn't they tell me they weren't ready for this business?
What advice would you give to, an artist, for example, someone like Boombox that is here today listening to you, and also someone watching or listening to this right now that is, in that phase of, or maybe you have a record label. And funny thing is, the rainy days might not be here yet, but it will surely come. It might not come as well. But what advice would you give to them to, keep them standing?
I need, first of all, from the artist to the record label, they need to understand what they are in it for. A lot of things don't get spelled out. I've seen people that signed artists and they didn't have contracts. I've seen people that had the most porous contracts. People that had, or artists that just signed off the contract because they just gave them a house and gave them a car.
Another angle.
Yeah, and they signed. They didn't read the clauses. So they didn't even see how much, they didn't see what the label was going to invest. They didn't see the welfare the label was going to provide. I always like to tell artists, why not sign yourself? Because I always signed myself. I mean, that's why I stayed in the bank for a while, because I needed money from another source to fund my music. But when you see people and they invest in an artist, when you see an investor or a group of people investing, you should never take it for granted. And I like to tell the artists, why don't you come through with some equity? So I challenge the artists to go out and look for money. Find some equity. And so that when you're coming to the label, you're like, boss, I've shot 2 videos. This is my equity. Don't come there on some, Baba, God will bless you. Like we're gone beyond that. The business is taking a totally new shape. You understand? So, but in recent times, a lot of artists are doing just that. They're making their records. They are funding themselves. And they are achieving colossal success. So I tell people, how you come into this town determines how far you make it. I'm hungry. I'm still as hungry as a guy that just came into the business. I have 10 albums. I've found all levels of success in my field. All gratitude to God, because there are times when the music will change and I'll come with an Anamachi Kwano and launch Fino's career. Then at some point, I'll put out an Emini Bola and put Chidema on it.
Sorry to cut you.
Yes, sir.
I just remembered I did a cover for that song.
Which of the songs?
And you retweeted.
You don't also
and you retweeted, yes.
And I retweeted.
Yes, you retweeted. You liked it, and I was so happy.
I'm happy that I showed him love.
Yeah.
And look at him today.
He's the Emini Bola.
Yeah.
Me, I was Emini Boombox.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah. Amazing. So I guess that's why I've been here. So, and when it was also time to transition into television, film, I decided to do King of Boys. So now they've taken my rap career and they've put it in a box. Now I'm Odogu Malay. I go to my daughter's school. It's crazy. I go to my daughter's school. It's a photo session every morning. The parents are like, let me call my husband. My husband needs to see I'm with Odogu Malay. Oh my God, did they kill you in the film? So it feels strange because I've always had all my traction and buzz coming from music. And then I just decided to try out a film with Kemi Adetiba, which I clearly refused to act for 5 months because I didn't want to do film. I didn't want to be an actor. I just wanted
Why?
to produce film. I don't know. It's just the part of me that felt like I'm more of a content creator. I want to be behind the scenes. I want to see executive producer of that boss. Like, I don't really care about, being in front of the camera, but I mean, that's what Nigerians like to see. They like to see the person that is popping.
Yeah.
Like, this show has like a total community behind us now. Cameramen, DPs, editors, animators, lighting experts, guys that put the dolly and everything, crane, but nobody gets to see them.
Yeah.
Sure.
They just see three of us.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Three of us looking good.
Shout out to the technical crew, man.
Interesting, but I absolutely love how you've evolved and you've embraced
Thank you.
every single role that you've taken. And
Thank
I think
you.
I would hold on to what you said, that you're still as hungry as you were when you got on that night bus. You wouldn't have delivered that role excellently the way you did it.
No.
It's something that you could have probably taken lightly, like not me now.
See, it took Kemi Adeoye months because then she kept telling me, I haven't been able to cast this
said so.
guy.
Yeah.
And then eventually, I took the role. That's why people should listen to their wives, for the ones that are married. My wife just called me one morning and said, why are you not taking this role? Because fear. Worst case, you fail, we'll try again. Then I said, okay, fine, I'll do it. Then I called Kemi, we signed off contracts, I got on set. Now, getting on set, the first thing I saw on set, I was led into a room and I saw Auntie Shola Shobowale backing me and speaking to like 5 people, 5 imaginary people. She was fighting with like 5 people, speaking in Yoruba, speaking in Pidgin English. And I just looked at it and I'm like, Jesus. Then Reminisce steps up to me and says, Baba, I tell you, say this thing. Make we just leave out.
It's still Level Up with Bliss and Boombox. Are you ready for the rapid response game?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll start with you, Boombox. You have 3 seconds. Don't take all the time in the world. 1, 2, 3, and you give me your answers. If you weren't doing music, you'd be doing what?
I'll be dancing.
No, you can't. You already said that one. You have to pick another one. If you weren't doing music and if you were not dancing, what would you be doing?
I'll be cooking. I'll be chef. Or something. Yeah.
And you not tell me we should go and buy pepper from the market.
Yeah,
Please, producer. Pepper, meat, chicken. So you can cook. You're a good cook.
Very good cook.
That's what they all say. Everybody's a very good cook. So we enter your kitchen.
No, seriously, I'm a very good cook.
Okay. Bliss. Oh, now I have to make the list longer. If you weren't rapping, acting, or into business, what is left?
I'm choosing all the options now.
What would you be doing?
I'll be a pilot. Yeah,
Really?
that's what I always wanted to do, but we didn't have pilots in schools in Nigeria. That's another conversation.
Okay, so 3 people you look forward to working with in the industry. 3, 2, 1. I told you, no time for thinking.
Wizkid, Burna, Davido. Bam. Bam.
It's like you just pick the 3 that are always fighting on Twitter, that their fans are always.
Bam.
So you didn't even pick it
No,
outside that.
I would love to work with them, man. I would love to work with them because they are there for a reason. You get me? So,
Sure. Yeah.
So I really want to, spend time with them. Get their vibe.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Bliss. 3 things that are in the industry today that you wish you had back in the days that are present in the industry today.
TikTok and so much social media, ability to aggregate and do stuff, by yourself as against working with companies.
True.
And fan base. Yeah, the fan base has exploded.
Yes,
so
very
those
true.
3 things.
Bliss, who's the first person you call when you feel you just recorded a hit track?
My man, MGB, it's like my childhood friend.
Oh.
Yeah, and he's so not a yes man. He'll tell you, but those verses are trash. Gotta record again. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's him, Ikenna. He'll tell you the truth.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know how to get gassed up. People have all kinds of entourage around them, lying to them about the music. But he'll tell me, bro, the beat is funny. Change the snare, reduce the bass line, get somebody to sing the chorus. Don't do it yourself. Yeah, so MGB.
Everybody needs an Ikena.
Yeah, in their life somewhere.
Yes. Boombox, who's the first person you call?
I'll call my manager, Bobby.
Will Bobby tell you the truth?
solid. He's even the first. Bobby and my brother. Richard.
Brother that advised you that you should
Richard
not just be a dancer.
Richard is actually the first person to hear idea.
Oh wow! And what did he say?
He was the one that was like pushing this jam na jam. Oh,
This is the record.
na jam. Oh, you get me? This was before 10 years and all that. Oh, you get.
Yeah.
So.
Interesting. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Iblis. Thank you, Boombox. I think you've been an interesting guest for the first episode. I absolutely love how you brought your energy, brought your honesty, and I believe everyone watching this would level up right after this episode.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your talent. Thank you for your wisdom.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for joining us. I do hope you have leveled up with us. This has been Level Up. I'm Tomike Adeoye. I've been your host. I'll see you on our next episode. Level up.